In this video, I have another very exciting fiber tool to unbox, so I thought you might be interested in seeing it too, so let's get started. I don't think I can actually bring the box in here, at least not by myself, so I'm gonna go take the thing out of the box and just try to set it down gently on this table. Let's see if I can do it. Gotta be feeling real strong right now. Okay, it's not as heavy as I thought, but that box is huge. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's an electric drum carder, and I'm so excited. Okay, let me just grab all the instruction stuff. I had to wrestle that out. Now, just to be clear, this is not sponsored, just like the spinning wheel wasn't sponsored. I mean, I wish it were, but it's not. I am so excited about this. So a little bit of a backstory is that when I was in school for fiber arts, we had a drum carder, not an electric one, we had a hand crank one, but it was something that we used constantly, both when we were dyeing lots of wool as well as spinning. And so I'm so excited to have this new tool. I'm not even kidding when I say that I have wanted a drum carder since I graduated college, which was like almost 12 years ago at this point. So I'm so excited that I have finally obtained one. Okay, okay, it looks like I'm missing part of the plug-in. Okay, I'm gonna go find that because I'm gonna need it. What? Well, that is highly disappointing. What? How could that be missing? Arguably, like, one of the most important parts is the part where you could actually, you know, plug it in. And that's the part I seem to be lacking. Okay, so I have confirmed that there was no power cable in the box or in all the wrapping. I was rummaging through it for quite a while just to make sure that I didn't miss anything. And it's not there, which seems very strange. But anyway, I have found one that I'm hoping will work. So we're gonna try that. Well, now I'm gonna pull out the instruction books and just make sure that I know what I'm doing before I turn it on. And if anyone is wondering, this is the Brother motorized drum carder. So I will put a link in the description box below if you are looking to get the same one. The first thing it says is that I should thoroughly inspect everything to make sure nothing looks broken before I, you know, turn it on and everything. Sure, it looks like it arrived pretty safely, other than missing that power cord, but that just seems like something that just didn't make it into the box more than the box itself being damaged or anything. The wood is all intact. I'm not seeing any like major cracks or anything like that. So far so good. It also came with a few tools, which we'll get into at some point here. I believe this is the little packer brush. So it helps you like pack on the wool more. And I'm guessing this is a cleaner brush. This looks like some of these got a little bit bent, but honestly, I don't think that's a big deal. Okay, I'm gonna do some reading. I like the way they've written this. Once you know your new carder is in perfect shape, read this manual over carefully before you take her on her maiden voyage. Okay, this is interesting and super helpful. I already appreciate how thorough some of this information is. It says the carding cloth, which is this portion. So this right here is the carding cloth. And it says there's gonna be some metallic dust on the surface of it just because of manufacturing. And so you should start with something that's either a color or a little bit darker, just so that it's not gonna like sort of contaminate a more light or white bat. Okay, I think I'm ready. I mean, this is not a tutorial, okay? This is my first time using this, and I'm just gonna kind of go for it. I don't know even if do I need this right now? We'll leave that there. I found myself a plug-in, so I'm gonna make sure that this is off. I know that, I'm kind of showing you guys this the opposite way that it's actually supposed to go, but anyway, we're gonna plug it in. Okay, let's just go. Okay, it's working, so that's good news. Now, one thing that it said specifically was you kind of have to operate this motor like a car. So you can't just switch it off while it's moving. You need to have it fully stopped before you turn it off. So now I just need to grab some colors and we're gonna try this out. Okay, I'm thinking purples. Like maybe trying to combine these. I'm nervous. So this is what I see people doing. You can either feed it through here, but I see a lot of people putting it directly on the drum, and I kind of want to try that. So maybe I'll put my first layer down of this darker color. Let's just see. And this is where I'm guessing this packer brush comes into play. Does she know what she's doing? No. Is it kind of fun? Yes. Okay, let's see what happens when we no, maybe that's not what that's for. I feel like the instructions with the brushes were not super clear. Okay, it is kind of pretty though so far. So one thing I'm trying not to do, I'm trying not to get too close to the edges because it definitely specified that you shouldn't get too close to the edges because if it gets caught up in the other mechanisms, it's really hard to clean. It's gonna be a bit of a learning curve for sure, but already I feel like this is quite pretty. Okay, it's looking really thin in spots, so I think I should do a little bit more. Definitely, I feel like such a noob. It has been so long since I've done anything like this. And even when I did do this, I feel like when I was in college, and we would mostly use it for when we would hand dye wool and to comb it all back together and make sure it was all really even. So I feel like a little bit out of my depth here. Let's do a little bit more. See if we can go a little faster. Okay, I'm gonna try to take this off and then I might card it again because you can kind of card things multiple times to blend them further. And to do that, you just kind of find the metal strip and just slowly pull it off. So I think I can go reverse. Okay, so merino carding is this is a super fine merino, and so I'm thinking that that's like kind of why it's very, what's the word, like delicate almost. So carding merino might not be my favorite thing. Is this the right? I don't know if I'm using the right tools, guys. This one seems to be working a little bit better. I actually think it would have been nicer to card something that wasn't quite as fine, but this is really pretty. So here's the bat. Now you can see I might want to blend it more. So what would happen if I just put it back in here and maybe like split it? This is just one big experimentation at this point because I am just like completely a noob at this. So I'm gonna split that in half. Now I'm wondering if I sort of spread this out. Maybe I want it this way. So let's put it back to going forward. And then I'm gonna put this brush down. I'm sure many people out there have much to say about what I'm doing wrong, which is just learning. This is just a practice one. Any helpful advice is more than welcome. I'm finding that it's kind of, okay, here we go. It's sort of like you can see right there. It's almost sticking to the smaller drum as it's pulling it through. I think I liked the method better of like putting it directly on here, and maybe that's just because of the type of fiber I'm using. I'm gonna speed it up a little bit, and I'm gonna go back to this method. I kind of like that with doing it by hand like this, I'm able to like make sure it's going into the drum a little nicer. I feel like one of these brushes is supposed to be for combing down the wool, but I'm not really understanding how. Or is that just it? Oh, maybe that is it. Okay, and then hopefully I can get that wool back in there too. Whatever it is, it's really pretty. So when I'm using this, from what I understand about other videos I've watched, hopefully I'm not completely wrong, is that you can kind of use this to push the wool further into the teeth so that you can pack a little bit more on. And it does seem to be working. So I feel like that's gotta be correct. I'm not sure this is doing a whole lot for me, so I might just lift that out of the way. It's really pretty. Okay, I have a little bit more I want to get onto there. All right, I mixed this bat twice, and I do have some like leftover scraps. I'll put these in my scrap bin. I won't just like kind of toss them. But I want to look at with you guys what this turned out to be. I can see from here, it's really beautifully mixed. I definitely think the second mixing was the right choice, and I'll have a bunch of cleaning to do on this later. But for now, let's see if we can kind of get a final result of this very first bat. What worked best for me was this little brush to get the bat off. I definitely think like this really fine merino wool roving definitely sticks in there a little bit more than something that is a little bit more coarse might. Oh my gosh, though, this is really pretty. Okay. So here it is. Flip it over. I think I like this side better, but I am hoping to spin this, so I'm excited to see what that will be like. And now I'm gonna try to clean this off a little bit. Now the idea here is to clean it off every time you use it. The other thing that's cool about this one is it has this little tray underneath it, and so I can see that there's like a bunch of dust and stuff on here, so this kind of just catches all the extra fibers and dust, making it a bit easier to clean everything later. So the bits that I'm a little bit more concerned about is the wool that's really packed down in there. I'm gonna have to look up how to clean that off, because obviously the smaller drum and even this brush is pretty simple to clean off. So I just have to figure that out. So this specific drum carder that I got creates a 9 by 22 inch bat. So it's not huge, but I think is also plenty. I love how this turned out and just like the variations of colors, and that's where something like a drum carder really comes in handy to be able to create really customized yarns, or even just felt bats. Like I know some people like to go and use this for felting. So that might be kind of a fun idea even to needle felt, something that's more varied like this. I'm really excited to keep playing around with this and just to be able to literally paint with fiber and mix it together and see what I can come up with and then spin it and just have fun with it. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.